Hello, you guys. Happy Tip Thursday. I'm excited to be here. Oh, good. Y'all, funny story. I was supposed to be sending an invoice to somebody, and I paid them. That's how today's going. So today we're going to talk about recognition. This is super, super important for so many reasons, and I will get into that in a little bit. But if you are a leader, I don't care if you have one teamie or if you've got 345 million teamies, recognition, okay? It's gonna be super, super important. So who are you recognizing? Who are you recognizing? You're recognizing those that are doing something that you want repeated, right? We always say, shout out what you want repeated. That's so important, okay? Because other people see that and they're like, oh, okay, that's what I should be doing. Oh, that's what I should be striving for. So that's going to be huge, okay? If you want to look at people, like we do active by the 5th, right? We do 500 by the 15th. There are reasons we do things like that. It's to help set people up for when they're leaders and get that kind of in their head and their mindset, all right? Shouting out your shooting star people, your sensational star people, those who are promoting, those who could promote or who are super close. Towards the end of the month, I always like to do a post for people who are almost certified, because there are so many that are so close all the time. And so that's something that I like to do, is do a, hey, these people are almost certified on our team. Let's shout them out, okay? All of those things are things that you're looking at for when you're trying to figure out who should I be recognizing, okay? Top contributors is another one. This is very important because these people are helping your team page literally run, okay? And if you don't have your own team page, or you're like, okay, well, I'm not supposed to be, hey, Haley, 100% focused on my team page yet, that's totally okay. You should be recognizing these things on your director's page, okay? It should be like you are getting in the habit now of recognizing these things, right? So that when you're a director, because that should be at least one of the goals, when you're a director, you're already in that mindset of, I know exactly who to recognize, how I'm recognizing them, and what I'm doing for recognition, okay? So why is it so important? So this is really cool, and I've actually witnessed this, okay? It literally will increase your teammates' engagement. When you're recognizing them for them doing good stuff, then they actually really feel like, oh, I do have a place on this team. Because it takes a little bit, I feel like, sometimes for people to realize I have something of value to add, right? Even here on the leaders page, how many people really you don't go live because you're like, well, they've already said it, or I don't feel like I have anything to contribute, but you do, okay? So it's going to increase engagement from that person and even on the team page in general, okay? It's also going to build a better sense of belonging in that person. It really is. So when you're shouting these people out on your director's team page and you're like, man, this girl is bomb. I even watched her do something in her own stories on her personal page. It's so great, right? Then that is going to build a sense of belonging in that person. They realize that they're valued. They realize that they're doing something awesome, right? That is worthy of even being shouted out. And they're also realizing, oh, wait, my sponsor noticed me. That's huge, okay? It takes a while for some people. Sometimes not everybody's super driven, right? It takes a while for people to be like, you know what? I am going to post this. I am going to help out on this team page. I am going to keep going in this business because my future is worth it. It takes a little bit. Sometimes it takes that extra bit of recognition from their sponsor or from their leader, okay? So even not just your front line, even your downline. If you see them doing something, shout them out on your director's page, okay? It builds a connection. This is huge. It builds a connection with you and that person. You have to create relationships with your frontline and your downline, okay? I know if I see Haley doing something great because she's on here, then I will message her and be like, girl, I'm so proud of you. You've worked so hard. And as your team grows bigger, it's harder, right, to connect with your downline especially. But it's so important, okay? It's so, so important because you do want to have, I don't want to say a hand in building more directors, but you do want to, I guess that is what it is. You want to have a hand in them being seen, them being recognized, them being excited, right? All of those things, okay? And then they're going to repeat what you're doing also. So think about that too. If you're showing the way, as you should be as a leader, your teammates are going to repeat that, okay? And then you can shout them out for that. Hey, I saw you do this. That's so awesome. I'm so glad you're taking care of your team. Okay? Another thing is it really does motivate people when they know that they're appreciated. I noticed this even with my husband, right? If Kevin does something and he's like folds the clothes, which he did last night, and I just was so out of it yesterday with that launch. All day I was just like, I'm dead. But he folded the laundry, and you know, we're a team, and I really appreciate when he does that. It's not all on me. We should be working together, of course, but I still appreciate it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and let him know, honey, thank you so much for just folding the clothes, okay? It is so important to do that. And of course, he gets this big, stupid, goofy grin on his face. It's something he should be doing anyways, right? But like, I'm saying that I appreciate it. I noticed, okay? I noticed. And that is motivation. It's also like, remember that for your husbands and your kids too. Keep motivating them, keep shouting them out for doing good things. They're going to keep doing it, okay? And you want that in your life. Trust me, that's a blessing. Even when I notice my oldest, right? I'm like, hey, dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much for getting all the trash out of the car. I really appreciate you. That is something that my oldest tries to do every single week because it's something I've recognized and something I'm like, I'm so thankful. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of you, right? It motivates him to keep doing it. I want him to keep doing it so I don't have to do it. Right? Especially with trash in the car. Like, I don't want to do that. I want him to do it. Stop my trash. Okay? It also is going to help when you have a sense of belonging, when you're motivating people and you're shouting them out for what they're doing, it is going to increase your retention. That's huge. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. How many teamies do you see start off super, super strong and they fall off the map? Right? When you're shouting people out, when you're building those connections, when you're finding a way to try to motivate them the best way that you can, it is going to help in your retention with your team. You want that. You want your teamies to be in it for the long haul. You want them to see what this business can do, right? Why you love it. You want them to love what you're doing, so they'll want to do what you're doing and to keep it going for the long haul, okay? Otherwise, you're going to have 3 active frontline, then 2 active frontline, then 1 active frontline, and then none, and then you can't get paid a title. You want retention, okay? That's very important. You also want teammates that are happy with what they're doing. If they're never getting recognized, if they're like their leader never shouts them out and never sees them doing stuff and never is like, oh, I'm so proud of you, way to go, ever, and never reaches out, most likely they're not going to continue to be happy with what they're doing, okay? Again, not everybody is super driven and super motivated and like, I'm going to get the thing done. Not everybody is a Whitney Hebel, okay? Like, let's just throw that out there. Some people need that validation, all right? And you want them to be happy with what they're doing, okay? So I will say this too. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. So how are you going to do this? How are you going to figure out who you're motivating, who you're talking to, who you're shouting out on your director's team page, in this leader's page? You've got to pay attention. That's going to be number 1. You've got to pay attention to your teammates. You've got to pay attention to your downline, okay? Because you cannot shout them out for something if you're not paying attention. You have no idea what they're doing. That makes no sense. You got to pay attention. Pulling reports is going to be your BFF, okay? Pulling reports is going to be huge. Hey, Kim, especially as your team grows, all right? I pull reports for PRV, TWV. What else do I have? Active Frontline, who people have sponsored, Shooting Star, Sensational Start, Certified, all of those. I pull reports for all of them. And then I know, and I do group wide. So then I know, okay, I see that Haley has recruited 5 different people this month. Holy crap, she for sure needs a shout out. I need to go ahead and just get in her inbox and personally message her myself and tell her, way to go, I'm so proud, okay? Things like that, all right? So how else can you do it? Like, you're gonna pull reports, but then what, right? You can email your team. So every month, which I'm getting ready to do now, I sit down and I'm like, okay, let's look at the previous month, at the beginning of the new month, look at the previous month, who is in the top 20, right? Not just the top 10, because that goes on the banner, right? But who's in the top 20 for the group and for the team? That's a big deal. That's a really big deal, all right? And those people you want to be watching because you want to work closely with them, okay? The banner at the top of our pages, that's also a great way to shout people out and let them know that they're being seen. PRV cards, I'm getting ready to do those too. Look, I'm getting ready to do all of that stuff right now. All of it is happening because I'm a day behind. I really could not pull my life together. I don't know if it was like just me or if it was everybody. I could not pull my life together yesterday after the big launch. I was just so tired. I don't know. I kind of just sat there in a daze for a while. So anyways, we're playing catch up. PRV cards, there's a lot of examples on this team page in the, I want to say files or the albums. I get them printed at Walmart. Okay, I get them printed at Walmart. You don't have to do that for your team. For me, it's just something I like to do. Find what works for you and what you can keep doing. okay? Don't start something and then be like, oh, yep, nope, we're not doing that. 3 months in, and then your team never gets recognized again. Because I need you to hear me. The people who aren't recognized, the directors that have not consistently recognized their team, their businesses have fallen apart. Just straight up honest with you, okay? The directors who aren't consistent, okay? Consistently shouting out their team, consistently training their team, consistently showing up, their teams have fallen apart, okay? I don't want that for people. I want them to keep going. There's a reason why we tell you guys, do it this way for a reason, or try this and try this. There's a reason we say those. We want you to have a thriving business, okay? Reaching out to them personally. Sometimes I love it when people have iPhones because I can just voice message them. But if I can't, then I try to get them on Facebook Messenger to send a voice message or just to talk to them and say, hey girl, what's going on? And I'll say too, even when you're reporting, sorry, I saw the word reports. Even when you're shouting out your people who are doing great things, take a look at your people who were rock stars and are not acting so right now. Because sometimes there's some stuff going on, okay? And they just need like, hey, I'm here for you. Hey, just so you know, you're in my prayers, whatever that is. It's literally one of my favorite things about this business is being able to like reach all the people, talk to all the people, and pray for all the people. So just things like that, reaching out to them personally in a voice message or just a message in general, okay? Shouting them out on your director's team page, on the leader's team page, pumping them up. You guys, I'm telling you, if you saw that they had just a fun story or that they had a customer even say, hey, oh my gosh, I love this. I had a customer, y'all, post on my personal page. I was cracking up. And if I would have seen this on someone else's page, I would have shouted them out on the team page for sure. But she said, thank you for putting my order in and or making sure my drunken order went through. And I was dead. I'm like, I'm dead. Hi, Whitney. That was so funny. But I'm like, things like that. You see things like that on your teammates' pages, like, shout them out. Look who had great customer service. Whatever it is, okay? Recognition, recognition, recognition. It can be free. That's one of the best things about recognition, all right? Sometimes we've even done, I know as directors, we've done like a Starbucks gift card. Like, thank you for working so hard this season. Here's a gift card for the team. Take it, go get yourself a coffee on me. All right. Challenge goodies. If you're going to challenge your team, which definitely should not be done every month because our businesses should not be run according to challenges. But if you're going to challenge your team, please make sure you actually follow through with the challenge goodie that you have said. Okay? Please. Don't just do a challenge and be like, and this is the prize, and then you never send it out. That does not create trust in a leader, okay? So let's think about that too, all right? And then when are we doing this? Figure out a system. Are you going to make sure that you have one day a month where you just go through and you recognize all the people? Are you like me to where I'm like, I'm going to recognize you if you're active on the first and second day? We're going to do 500 by the 15th, right? How are you recognizing people? Put it in your calendar to remind you, okay? Are you sitting down at the end of the month to send out PRV cards? How and when are you recognizing your people? And you're going to do it consistently. This is something, it's a system, we're going to keep doing it, okay? I'm telling you, you've got to do it consistently. That's going to be huge. So do you sit down one day and you're like, all the emails to all the people. One day I'm looking at all my teamies and their Facebook pages and how can I shout them out? Whatever it is, okay, you're going to do it consistently and you're going to create a system for it, all right? I have a little checklist that just says reports to pull every month. Okay, this is kind of what I look at. I know, okay, on this day I'm looking at this. On this day I'm looking at this, right? After the 15th, I'm pretty much looking at reports every single day to see who can promote, who can I cheer on, who can I help, okay? It's just so important for you guys to remember recognition 110% can be free, but it's not just for your front line. It's also for your downline. You've got to create those relationships and that trust because sometimes you will have a leader just flake. And now who's going to talk to their front line, right? Who's going to create that relationship with them? Who is going to shout them out? You see what I'm saying? So it can't just be your front. You do need to focus on your front line, yes, but you also need to be able to find a way to shout out some of your downline also and check on them and see how they're doing. I know Whitney posted a video on what reports that she pulls. I have my report set up almost the exact same way to where I can go in on the 15th and see everybody in the group who's going to promote to star. Everybody's going to promote to lead. And those people, I'm in their inboxes, I'm messaging them, I'm pumping them up, telling them I'm proud of them, that they can do this. If they need me, let me know. We're here, all right? Find a way to try to connect. If they don't connect back, you can't do anything about it. But put the effort out there, okay? It takes intentional effort. Intentional effort. And remember, that's going to be what keeps the key to retention in your team. And that is what you want. You want a growing business. You don't want to keep going backwards or be stagnant. If you have 5 frontline and you've had five frontline and a team of 5, that's it, right? Well, 6 including yourself, and it hasn't grown in months, that's a problem, okay? Right? If you all of a sudden have those boxes checked that say we'll cancel, and next month you know you're only going to have a team of 3, that's a problem. We don't want to go backwards. We want to keep moving forward, okay? So recognition in all of the things. Shout your people out for doing good stuff because it is so important, okay? All right, that's my Tip Thursday for you guys. Shout out your people. And if you guys have like really good ideas, I know Katrina is like the queen of recognition. She does all of the things. I say keep it simple because I won't repeat it, so I have to keep it simple. But if you want like really good ideas or you have ideas about shouting out your team, drop them in the comments so that we can all piggyback off each other, okay? All right, y'all have a great Thursday and have a good 4-day weekend. If you have a 4-day weekend, have a good one, all right? Bye, guys.